from that one story idea to a one pager to eventually seeing billions of people watching it is a different excitement, and then while it's a challenging journey, it's a very gratifying one if the film lands well.
Hi Harman, my name is Reema Chhabda. Thank you for joining Entrepreneur India.
Of course, thank you for having me. Yeah.
So Harman, from acting to writing to running a studio, what was the turning point when you realized that producing was your true calling?
I think I've always been part of the business, right? My parents started this company, I would say now well over 3 decades ago. So you've sort of grown up, seeing dinner table conversations, evening conversations, while they're driving together, they're only discussing films and stuff like that. So I think it almost becomes a part of your DNA without even realizing it. Right? And then of course, did my film school in LA and came back and started working with my dad. So I don't know if I can tell you a inflection point where that switch happened. I think it was always there, and it was always part of the production house. But then obviously once I started acting for a bit, obviously that didn't go out as one would have liked it. And then for me, it was to switch back to what I really enjoy as well and know really well. And so far so good, I would say. Yeah.
So as you have mentioned, your father has built a strong legacy with Baweja Studios. How are you keeping his vision alive while making it your own?
Any business establishment which comes with a certain amount of legacy and a certain amount of, I would say, footprint and goodwill, while it definitely comes with its set of advantages, but also comes with its set of serious challenges, right? So I think the intent is clear for me. It's always about making sure that I do solid content to start with, but also make sure that it has a fine balance in terms of its, commercial viability. Because I always believe that we are in what we call the media and entertainment industry, and I think it's important to just, every word of that statement. So, while yes, one wants to create strong content which is, powerful with its messaging, like we have done in a few films and we are doing it right now, it's also important to keep the commerce angle of it extremely robust. So I think that's the fine balance that I look for.
Also, Baweja Studios is collaborating with Netflix, Jio, RSVP, XL, and even global players. How do you choose who to collaborate with, and what's your strategy for building and sustaining such high-value collaborations?
I think collaborations are a must. I think everyone comes out with a different skill set. Everyone has a different strengths, and when two strong companies collaborate, the two strong teams come together, I think you only add exponential value. So whether it's collaborating with XL, they've been front runners in terms of building great content over the years. Where obviously there's the platforms, there's Amazon Prime, there's Z, there's I would say Netflix, of course. We're working with Jungli Pictures right now. We're doing something with Applause. We have a film with Tips Films. We have a couple of films with T Series. So yeah, I know on the face of it sounds like but eventually the idea is to be a little more agnostic, and I think every platform, every studio comes with their set of strengths, and depending on the kind of script we have, depending on the kind of project we have, that's how you kind of build that collaboration to maximize the distribution, to maximize the output of the film and make sure it reaches as wide as possible. So I guess that's pretty much the reason, and I think collaboratively, creatively, you have to be in sync. I think that's the basic foundation of what we do.
What happens if you guys are not in sync?
Then you do something else and you pull that project out. I think everyone I've mentioned has been around for so many decades now. That you tend to kind of have that flexibility in your relationship also, to know that if certain things are not going the way you imagine them to be, the relationship still remains sacrosanct. But a certain project, because eventually if you prioritize the project, then that the differences that may come in are for the project. It's for the piece of content, right? Whether it's a film or a show or an animation film or whatever. But it's not differences on your level in terms of understanding how the two companies function. So you find something else, and
Okay, but do you call yourself a calm businessman, or you think that you're very particular and you want things according to your own way?
You do go with a very strong conviction. That's obviously what we do, right? But at the same time, you need to be flexible. You need to be collaborative, because there are other people who have, like I said, other skill sets and experiences, and creatively, it's not mathematics. The square root of a certain number is going to be a certain number, which isn't going to be the case in this space. Yeah, there's always a point of view.
Also, regional cinema and animation have now become the major growth in India. So, what are your business vision for Baweja Studios in these emerging markets?
Well, I mean, see, we have kind of obviously done Punjabi films in the past successfully, and when it comes to animation, I think Charles Tebzade was much before. I think I'm glad Narsimha has done what it's done finally. We produced Charles Tebzade, I think now almost a decade ago, and at that time, almost for a decade, it was the most successful animation film out of India. So. It's bittersweet, but I'm glad that finally someone's kind of broken that and smashed the records, which is great because it opens up that industry further. I've always been pushing animation. We also did a show in collaboration with Virat Kohli called Super V, which had done phenomenally well across the Star Network. We crossed over 200 million viewers, targeted towards preteens and a slightly more younger audience. So I think animation is finally here to stay. One will have to see how it transcends from just not mytho-driven animation to maybe pure play animation as well. And I think at least I would say the journey has begun not just for the audiences, because I think the audiences were always ready. I think it was more about the creators, the platforms, the studios, which kind of needed to kind of have that faith and belief, right? Which is now stronger post success of Narsimha. And regional, yes, we've kind of diversified. We do have a Punjabi film in production. We had a Tamil release earlier this year called Perusu with Stonebench. That's one of the leading production houses out of the Tamil industry. We have 3 Kannada films which are in prep. Rather, I would say 1 in production and 2 in prep. So we are kind of diversifying regionally as well. But taking our time to kind of choose solid scripts, understand the regions better. Eventually, we need to partner with people locally who understand that region better than we do, because obviously, I may not understand that. I don't understand that language. B, I can analyze that basis on the films and scripts that we've read and films that we've seen. But I think it's important to find the right partnerships, as you're scaling horizontally.
Okay, great. So, if you had to pick one thing, what would you pick? Writing a script, producing a script, or acting in it?
Why can't I do all 3 sentences?
No, but just because I got this opportunity to question, so I can question anything, right?
I would say producing right now for me. Actually, I love writing as well. See, I'm more of a writer producer right now. So I put writer before producer. So I would say, yeah. But producing has its own charm, because from that one story idea to a one pager to eventually seeing billions of people watching it is a different excitement. And then while it's a challenging journey, it's a very gratifying one if the film lands well. So I would say producing, writing, and then acting, if I had to really put it down.
Okay, lastly, you have an exciting slate coming up, from courtroom dramas to romantic comedies. Which project are you most excited about?
I'm always most excited about the one that is due to release immediately next, because that's when the excitement kicks in. So you gotta understand, when you're creating content, when you're producing things, you put in a lot, right? It's not just the time spent; it's your mind spent. You're constantly thinking about it. You're putting a piece of yourself into everything, because it's a creative job. It's not just it's not just a clinical job. There is that aspect of it as well. But so I think it's always whatever's releasing next instantly becomes. We have a release in a couple of weeks of a film called Bhagwat on Z5, and about a month and a week from now we have another release called Haq, which is in theaters. So right now these are my 2, but I'm also prepping for Captain India. I'm also prepping. Just it's hard to choose, man. Why are you asking me to choose? Don't ask me to choose. Don't make this coffee with Karan.
This is far, far, far away from coffee with Karan, but thanks a lot.
Okay,
It was fun talking to you.